Welcome guys, this is Baron. Welcome to another tutorial of mine, this time about the classy Sims 2. Today I'm going to show you how to make a sunken basement. Stay tuned. A basement in the Sims 2, a no-slope basement. What I mean by that is that you have an authentically looking basement, not the one like the one you can see in this picture. This is the common way of doing basement in The Sims 2 on all the other installments, I guess. But what we want it to look like is something like this, that you can't see any slopes on the sides. Before we start, however, I have to mention that my method, or it's actually not my method, it's the method by Mutilla, which I'm gonna present to you in a moment, is still not perfect. I'm still looking for a better alternative. For the first time, I tried to create a basement that really aligns with the ground, so that there wouldn't be any, noticeable foundations. But the problem was, the Sim, whenever I tried to make him walk into this house, he couldn't enter. I don't know why. I've tried many different things and nothing has worked so far. So if you know a solution to that part, how to create a basement that's not visible from the ground, please get back to us. The basement I'm going to make, it's still elevated a little bit. And if you have any other ways of doing it, if you know a better method, if you know a better trick, please let me know either in the comments or respond to my video with your personal video. I would really appreciate it, because this is not about me boosting my viewers, my subscribers here. It's really just about the information how to do it. Let's get started. The first thing you will need is the program called GridAdjuster. I think that's what it's called. I'm gonna provide the link in the description below. It's Mutilla's The Sims 2 GridAdjuster. That's the first thing you need to download. I've already done that. I've just downloaded the zip file and unpacked it, and that's what the file, what the program looks like. What you should do, however, before you use the software, just like with any other software, is back up your neighborhood, because in case anything happens, it's always good to have a backup, or otherwise all your files might be corrupted and lost. Where can you find the neighborhood files? Well, where can you find the backup? How can you make a backup? Just navigate to this folder. Of course, you would have a different name than mine. It's under Own Documents, EA Games, The Sims 2, Neighborhoods. I'm always working with Pleasant View, so I'm going to back up this folder, the N001 folder. I think that's the folder that contains all the Pleasant View files. I already created a backups folder here, and I've already backed it up, so I'm good to go. Okay. Well, you know what, just for the hell of it, let's do it a second time, just to show you how to do it. Copy, paste, and that's it. In case you're facing any problems with your sunken basement, if you've made any mistakes, the easiest way to undo it is to just simply remove the neighborhood file that you've been editing, just delete it, and get the one from your backup. I'm using a different one here now than the one I'm showing in the video, but it doesn't really matter. And just copy paste and get your original neighborhood back where it should be. Then what we're going to do next is launch the game and build ourselves the foundation for the basement of the house we want. I'll be right back. Right, here we are again. I've already built myself a little basis for the basement. Here is actually the issue that arose, the issue that I couldn't solve. I only managed to build a basement with a foundation. I couldn't figure out how it works without a foundation, and the foundation, or this part basically up here, the upper part of the walls, can still be seen from outside of the building. So I couldn't find a way how to sink the whole basement properly into the ground with a true authentic basement with nothing showing from the outside. If you know a way how to do that, please, as I already said, let us know. With your own video, with a comment, whatever. Okay, so let's get started. I've already set myself here a foundation with that tool here, with the foundation tool. And then I built some walls around it. And on top of the walls, I've already set for the next floor, I've already used some materials here to make the first floor visible. Now we need to do some counting. That's necessary for the software to work. Where do we need to count from? From the left side of the lot and from the front side. I already wrote down all the coordinates for my property, but I'm gonna show you how to do the counting correctly. First, you need to know that every time you want to sink a house, a basement, into the ground, you need to do it in squares. You can't sink the whole area, you need to deconstruct it, and you can only sink solid squares into the ground. I'll show you what I mean by that. This is the first square, and this here is the second square. Of course, you can also do it like this, with this being the first square and this the second. It only works in squares. You can't make the angles sink in one go. So for this one, for this property, for this example house, I will have to enter two different objects to sink. First one and then the second one. It's really important, if you have something like this, that you make the edges overlap. I'm gonna mark it this way. So this area belongs to that room if you want to, and this area belongs to this room. So if that's my line here, if I want to sink it, I'll have to make one object overlap into the other one. At least that's what I've been told by Mozilla. So otherwise there might be issues with your Sims moving around. They might not get into the other room. So first let's sink this room, and then let's sink that room, overlapping into the previous room, right? So now let's do the counting. I'm gonna go back. For this one I use the wall tool. This will do the job perfectly. First I'm gonna start with this room over here. Oh, there's still something else to remove from me. Don't want to sink everything. Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is first let's count from left to the first edge here. This should be, without me using the wall tool, 3 blocks. So I'm gonna write down 3. You can't see that right now. I have a piece of paper in front of me. I've already taken down all the notes for this one. The same is true for this one, of course, here. But the other end of this room is, of course, not at 3, but I think, if I remember correctly, at 7. Yes. So the end of this room is at 7 blocks away from the left-hand side. So we have 3 to 7, and now we need to do the length. Here, it's very careful that you don't start the counting from around here, from the mailbox, but from the other side of the road. Start the counting here. So, the beginning of our room is at 12, and the end of our room is at 22. I've written down those two coordinates already, so this room is finished. It's from 3 to 7 from the side, and from 12 to 22 from the front. Now let's do the same thing for this room over here. It starts, as I said, please let it overlap. So don't start from here, start from here, so that this room can overlap into the other one. It's from 6 to 12. Actually, I have to make a little correction here because I wrote down 7, that's wrong. And the width, this should be again 12. Yes, 12 to, I think if I remember correctly, was 17. Yes. So I wrote down those coordinates, and I'm basically done with the counting. Of course, if your house is bigger, if you have more rooms, more squares, you need to repeat this up to a number of times, as many rooms as you have. Alright? So I'm done with the counting of my test property. I'll see you again on desktops. Okay, here we are again. Now let's sync our building. Well, you can put the software wherever you want. I just decided to put it into the downloads folder as well. Here I have the software. Just fire it up by clicking on the exe file. Next, and now you need to select the neighborhood that you want to add it. I chose to work with Pleasant View, so mark Pleasant View, click on next. Now I select the property, you need to know what the address of the house that you want to add it is. I just call it tutorial for the sake of this tutorial. Click on next. And here we are actually at the surface of the program what we work with. As I said, we need to do this twice. The first one, first off, click, the pattern should be basement. Then we need to go for the depth. The first property, I said it starts at 12 and goes back to 22. The second one starts from the side at 3 and moves to 7. Minus 12 should be fine. I've also tried this with minus 16. I don't know if it really changes anything. As I say, I'm a novice. I have no idea of how to do that in an advanced style. This is the only way that works for me, so that's what I'm going to show you. Then we're done with the first object. We click on finish. Version backups, that's fine. Clicks, all right. Adjustment grid of elevation is complete. Now we need to click on restart for the second room, for the second object. We select the same lot again, click on next, basement again, and now for the second object we said from the side. It starts at 6 and it moves over to 17, is that correct? Sounds a little fishy. No, 12. 12 is the correct one. I think I missed the counting in the previous part of the video, but sorry for that. 12 is correct. From the front, we use 12 and we go back to 17. Okay, I'm gonna double check it again with my data here on my sheet of paper, but it should be correct. Then we need to click on finish and then we're done. Then our property should have been properly sunk. I'm gonna pause the recording again, see you again in... And here we are again. As you can see, the basement has been properly made. There are no slopes on the sides. As I said, I was not able to sink them properly onto the ground level. I couldn't do it. Well, I was able to do so, but my problem was that I couldn't build any stairs on the property then. It just always gave me this one here, the red circle. I couldn't really place any stairs on top of it, but with this one it worked. So I can put the stair here and the Sims will be able to move into the house. This was not possible for me in the first place. And if we take a look downstairs, we can see that the basement is there. We can build a stair somewhere around here. Well, maybe that's not the best place. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's what I thought. And if I create a sim and let him move into this house, he should be able, or she should be able, to move around the house without any issues. I'm gonna try that out. Let's finish the house. And this should already work. Just in order to prove that, I'm gonna create a sim and let him move in and see if he can move around freely. I'll be back soon. Right folks, welcome back. Let me introduce you to Mr. Tutorial, who has just moved in here. Couldn't think of a better name. Sounds kind of Spanish to me, I have to say, or Latin American. And as you can see, he already moves around the house freely. He has no problems with it. Just doesn't seem to like the door I've placed him there. Okay, let's move downstairs somewhere. Please be able to do so. Stop watching the birds from inside. Alright, no problem so far. Now let's see if we can also move to the other room properly. Yes, he can. So as you can see, the sunken basement has worked properly. Yeah, stop complaining. It's also possible to revoke the basement, but that's another story for another video. I don't have time to show you that as well in one video. Anyways, what I would advise is first plan the outline of your basement before you start building anything else. Then sink it and then build the rest of your house. Editing the basement later on in the game can be quite challenging. I don't think that's really a good idea. I think you will mess up with the lot too much. So in case you want a sunken basement, a proper sunken basement without any slopes, plan everything beforehand and leave the basement the way it is. It's also more realistic, to be fair. If you build a house in real life, tell me, I know that from personal experiences, you always plan the basement you want it the way to be, and you can't really make any big changes later on in life. Before I finish this video right now, I would like to give credits to a couple of people without whom I wouldn't have been able to make this video for you guys. First off, there is of course Mutilda, without whom we wouldn't have this excellent software to work with, and I would also like to thank her for her tutorial in this forum thread of Mod The Sims, because all I did in the video was basically following her instructions here. She taught me everything I needed. I presented to you in this short tutorial. And my second very big thanks go out to Sunraider Sims. A very friendly, patient, and devoted... I don't know if I'm allowed to call her my friend, but I dared to call her my friend. I stumbled over this tutorial of hers for the preparation of this video. Without her, I wouldn't be able to have a sunken basement. End of the line. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have fun with your own sunken basement. See you next time. Goodbye.